All right, good morning, boys and girls. So this is again me talking. So what we're doing here, this is a document that is on Leah. So week 8, when to use a comma. Okay, so the document is there. The comma. So here are 4 essential rules that cover most sentences in which you need to use a comma. Okay, we've already talked a little bit about this on the complex and compound sentences. But here are other examples, okay, other rules, okay. So the first one I think is the easiest one. You use commas to separate items in a series of 3 or more. So whenever you have an enumeration of different things, I like pizza, poutine, paella, and red wine. So you put a comma in between, okay, except for the last one. Number 2 is also not too difficult, but a little bit more in a way. Use commas to separate from the rest of the sentence any word or expression that is not essential to the sentence meaning. So the example that I provided here was Brave New World, comma, written by Aldous Huxley, is a novel about a dystopian society, blah, 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 blah. This part here is non-essential, okay? You could remove that part and it would make perfect sense. Brave New World is a novel about a dystopian society, etc., etc., etc. So that's why if you were to add it, then you put it between commas. Okay. And number 3 and 4, we talked about it in the PowerPoint presentation about complex and compound sentences. Here, number 3, put a comma between independent clauses forming a compound sentence when they are joined by these coordinating conjunctions or transition words: for, and, nor, but, yet, so the fanboys words. Okay, I like Celine Dion, but I prefer Nirvana. We shape tools, and tools shape us. An hour 2. I knew I was going to be late, so I went back to sleep. I hope I do well in the interview, for I really need it. So whenever you have a fanboys coordinating conjunctions, then you put a comma. Keep in mind this notion of fanboys. Okay, it's an acronym for the first letter of the coordinating conjunctions. Number 4, put a comma in a complex sentence when the sentence starts with the dependent clause. So we talked about this also on the complex sentence in the PowerPoint presentation about complex and compound sentences. So when I learned I was teaching at the cégep level, I was very happy. This is a dependent clause. It depends on the other one. Okay, when I learned I was teaching at the cégep de Sherbrooke, if you only have this, it doesn't make sense. Okay, it has to be in the same sentence as an independent clause. So when you start with the dependent clause like this, you put the comma there. However, if you were to start with the independent clause, I was very happy when I learned I was teaching at the cégep level. In this case, you don't need a comma. Same thing here. Because she forgot to eat, comma, she was starving in the afternoon. This is the dependent clause. She was starving in the afternoon makes perfect sense. This one depends. Because she forgot to eat, if you only have that sentence, it doesn't make sense on its own. So it has to be connected to an independent clause. So whenever you start with the dependent clause, you put the comma there. If you structure your sentence if you start with the independent clause, she was starving in the afternoon because she forgot to eat, then no comma here is required. All right, so good luck. Bye.